When God gave the nations the church, he gave that nation the answer to their problems. Because God's kingdom is not just a spiritual place. What you don't know is that God's kingdom is a country. There's power in knowledge. There's power in information. There's power in knowing something. If you know what has been written concerning health, it is easy to claim healing. If you know what has been written concerning finance, it is easy to claim wealth. If you know what has been written concerning business, there are words in the scriptures that have...
You are onto a life transforming experience as Pastor Prince Abah brings you God's word with deep insight and power. God bless you.
Amen. How many of you have been blessed in this meeting? Let me see your hands. You are sure you've been blessed. Something has been happening to you. Okay. I'm going to try to share a few things with you this morning, and then we'll call it a day, Actually, there's one chicken in my house. Today is the day we sentenced it to death. So I can't waste so much of time. I have to move. You can follow. Or come with your own chicken. Amen. The best thing God can give you is a pastor after his heart. Let me say this to you. I want to say this to you. I say the best gift God can give you is a man who can look at your life and be concerned. Open your ear, because what I want to teach you today is about one of the things you may have not heard before. Or you may have heard it, but you have played light on it. So you have to open your ear. Whatever you are doing, wherever you are, open your ear. I want to show you why a lot of people don't end up great. And I'll use a very simple passage of the scripture to illustrate or to show you this. The best gift God can give you is the gift of a pastor after his heart. God's heartbeat is people. There was never a time God gave you a pastor for the benefit of the pastor. Every time God gives you a pastor, it's always for the benefit of people. God said to Moses, I've heard the cry of my people in Egypt. Now I'm sending you to go and deliver them. If God has heard the cry of his people, I was thinking he should have done something about it himself. Why did he say to Moses, I'm sending you to go and deliver the people? Why? Because the way God answers the cry of people is to send them a man. The summary of answer to all the prayers you're going to pray is that God gives you a man. One man. One man. Actually, in this meeting, my focus is the women. So most of the scriptures I'm going to do is going to be based on, stories of women who... Then, men, you can also put yourself in the context of this, because at the end of the day, this message is for everyone. I've seen people with great potentials, people with great gifts, people with great callings, people with great talents. They have so much to offer, but are not able to offer even 1/10 of what they are carrying. I've seen very talented failures, very gifted failures, beautiful and handsome failures. And God keeps showing me each time I study along this path that talent is not enough, gifts is not enough, whatever quality you think you possess is not enough for you to become great. There's only one thing that guarantees you're going far in life. One. Actually, most of the successful people you see in life, if you know their background, if you know how they all grew, if you know them personally, you'll come to find out that they are the weakest set of human beings. The people that God have truly used in this world happen to be the weakest, happen to be the most untalented. I've seen untalented people win talented people. I've seen people who are not gifted beat people who are gifted. So what I'm going to show you this morning is how two people can have the same opportunity. One collects the opportunity and have her name written with rainbow color, written with golden ink, that generations have come and gone, and this woman is still a memorial. Centuries have come and gone, and the world is still reading and talking about her. She had the same opportunity another person had. Took the opportunity, the other one forfeited the opportunity. Like I said, my focus is the women, but the focus is actually everybody. So if you hear me do more with the women, as a guy, I don't think the message is not for me and all that. The message is for everybody. I'm talking to you about the woman and her covering. The woman and her spiritual covering. And the whole goal of the subject is to talk on the issue of mentorship. The whole message I want to drive home is on the issue of mentorship, on the issue of submission. Because this is what explains whether you become great or not. This is what explains whether you would be a high flyer or not. This is what depends whether you are going to go far or not, whether as a man or a woman. This is also going to depend. This is also going to determine whether you fail or not. So, failure and success are very explainable. As I go through life, I keep asking God, why are people gifted? Why do people have so much of potentials, but they still get lost in the crowd? Why? And God takes me from Genesis to Revelation, and the principle is all the same. Just one thing. Every man you have ever heard, every woman you have ever heard, this one principle, this same principle. Some of these keys to success are actually confusing more people. I found that it's just one thing. If you get it, you don't need more keys. Because a lot of people who are struggling in life have keys. They've taught them keys to success. Be resolute, be determined, be diligent, be hardworking. They do it, at the end of the day, achieve little. Isaac Newton said something that is very interesting. He said, if I tend to see farther than my equals, it's because I stand on the shoulders of giants. That's the man you studied in school who postulated the law of motion. I want to pray that in this meeting, as this meeting ends today, your eyes will open to die to self. It will open to die to pride. It will open, that is, God will kill that thing that is. I believe every limitation in life is self-imposed. Nobody is responsible for holding you back where you are. You are solely responsible for the level you occupy in life. If you get this key today, all your wahala, all this trouble of independence will die. Leave me to do my thing the way I want to do it. Allow me to do it the way I want. I must do it the way I want. After I'm gifted, after I'm anointed, after I'm whatever, you will find out that no matter how anointed Elisha is, he needs an Elijah. No matter how gifted, handsome, and eloquent Joshua is, he needs a Moses. Go and read from your Genesis. The principle is one, the same. You will come to know that no matter how powerful Jesus is, he needs a Joseph. There's a young man who was talking to me a few days ago on WhatsApp. Hello, sir, how are you? You've not been around. I've not been seeing you. Where have you been all the while? He said, I've been in a solitude hiding place with God. It's okay. So how far? What's going on? He said, God has been taking me through a journey. I said, what kind of journey? He said, he has been teaching me about some things. He has been showing me some. He started talking all kinds of jargons and cock and bull story. Telling me how God is talking to him about Yeshua, what Yeshua means. Talking to him about end time. Talking to him about this. Talking to him about this. I said, how do you come about all these things? Do you have materials you are reading to know all these things? He said, no material. That God comes down himself to teach him. I looked at the guy. I know him. I said, of all the while God has been coming down to you to teach you, at the end of the day, you are still where you are. If I read the text on WhatsApp, it sounds confusing. You can't even understand anything he's saying. You can't draw any meaning out of what he's saying. I say, oh. That God told him he is his personal mentor. And I said, that same God must have been confused when Saul was going to Damascus to kill Christians. The Bible said that the light of God fell on Saul, and Saul fell down, and a voice from heaven spoke, Saul, 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 why are you persecuting me? There are two important questions Saul asked that changed the course of his life. The first question is, who art thou, Lord? And Jesus said, I am Jesus, the one you are persecuting. That first question Paul asked, who art thou, Lord, is the question of knowing your Creator. The question of recognizing the supreme being is the question of recognizing that deity who rules in the affairs of men. Who art thou, Lord? He asked, who are you? Who is the one talking? Guess what God did? God introduced himself to him. What do you want me to do? Question of destiny. Question of purpose. Question of assignment. Question of calling. What do you want me to do? God did not introduce himself to him. God introduced him to a man. He said, go into the city. Ask of a man called Ananias. He is going to tell you everything you need to know. So why did God not start mentorship there? You need to go back and read your Bible from Genesis to Revelation. You'll find out that all the heroes God used went through one principle only. I am the Reverend Prince I am, not because I am talented, not because I'm gifted. I am who I am because of Reverend David Obueli. Remove him out of my life, I'm a complete failure. Is the mantle, the grace, the mentorship, the wounding of that man over my life that has put me in shape. You're not qualified to talk to anybody if there's no one talking to you. You're not. You're just like a car without chair. I want to address this thing today. I wish maybe everyone who is a member of this church were available, some didn't travel. But you also see that this same traveling thing, I'm jumping out, I'm going there, is a problem of the devil is smart. You know what made him fall? He doesn't want to be under. I want to be like God, the Most High. I want independence. Nobody should tell me anything about midweek service. Nobody should tell me anything about coming to church. Nobody should tell me anything about my money. Nobody should tell me anything. I want to be independent. The moment he plotted it in his heart, God perceived it. It came down. Now I want to ask you, if the devil came down as a result of wanting independence, what do you think he would use to make you come down? If he's after your destiny, sir, what do you think he would want to use to make you fall like he fell? Because he has no other trick. There's no other special trick he has. What would he employ to get you fall? The same thing that made him fall. The same thing. So one of the things the devil is doing, actually is the greatest thing, is to plant in people that spirit of independence. It's called I syndrome. I. That's why I like Paul. Nevertheless, not I that lives, but Christ. Look, we have seen a lot of Christians. I give you examples with some churches that would have gone far. You see churches like, I don't want to mention names because this thing is on record. There's some of our new generation of churches that have gone far. It bothers me to know that they are not the most righteous churches. Like our neighbor here, their church, gone far. All over the world, there's no part of the world you go to that they are not. Their members are rich. The last time I was watching their senior pastor with his CC pastors on TV, they were talking money like this money is sand. The pastor turned Rev to his second guy. Reverend, what do you have to say about this? The guy talk. When he finished talking, he said, Pastor, I'm going to support a TV network with $1 million. There and there, he dropped the cash. The other pastor, CC, who is the pastor in charge of Ghana, I'm dropping 1 million. When they launched their Bible, I watched it. It was pastors. Pastor, I'm launching the Bible with 10 million. Pastor, 10 million. Pastor, 10 million. The one who launched with 10 million first will come back and say, no, how can you launch more than me? Pastor, I'm increasing my own to 30 million. He said, give me the mic. 30 million. He said, wait, I'm Ibo's senior. Pastor, 50 million. Come back, 50 million. Pastor just sat down, I was looking at them. After a while, one got angry and said, okay, 100 million. It was not pledged, they were paying it there. They have access to all kinds of nations. They have access to any country of the world. They have access to all. Yet, we check the church, the nitty-gritties of the church, the things you preach, all the holiness you are preaching, all the righteousness you are preaching, all the be thou this and be thou, all the laws and dogmas you are preaching, they have it zero. Yet that church is powerful than a church that has all your righteousness 100%. They have more than 4 or close to 4 television networks now running. Their daily devotional is spreading like wildfire. Is the most read all over the world. Yet we know that there are things inside that are not very, if you look at it from the Bible, no. But what is the advantage of that church? They understand submission. They understand staying under authority. I want to say this to you. A church of untalented people who understand this thing will win a church of talented people who don't have it. You know, women, I'm addressing you because it is more with you guys. I want to show you. Men also have their own issue. It's a general teaching I'm doing. But women, I want you to personalize it because I'm going to use scriptures that deal on women to show you this thing. And we have one in the southeast of the Niger that claims to be close to 100 years old. The same church in question is the same church the general overseer of this other one I'm talking about, his grandfather was GO. Or his father was GO. The same church. That means when this guy's grandfather was GO, he was a baby. Or maybe not even born in that same church. Yet, this church in question has not been able to successfully pioneer a state class, not nation class or world class, state class university. You go to their campground, it's looking like what I cannot describe. The last time I went to their headquarters church, when I went to see their former GO, I was coming back from a journey. I met him in the plane. And we were talking in the airplane. We exchanged contact. That was the first time I met him one-on-one. And he gave me an appointment to come meet him in the office. I went with some of my leaders to his office to see him in Enugu. When I got to the office, I wept. I said, look at a whole national council secretariat. Look at what it's looking like. Then he drove me to the TV station and showed me what he's trying to put up. I said, okay, for the first time, after many years, people like Love War now have about 3 television network or what. This one is now you are trying to put up a... And at the end of the day, we checked carefully. When we got back to the office, he sat me down and opened the nitty-gritties of the affairs in the ministry. I wept. There's a ministry where if the pastors preach, you will cry. No new generation pastor preach more anointed than them. If they preach injury time here, you will think Jesus is coming tomorrow. If they preach, can I still forgive him here? You would think the Antichrist has appeared. If they preach end time message here, the way you will shake, the way you will cry and kata will come out from your mouth. But at the end of the day, where is the ministry? What is the problem of the average Igbo man? Stubbornness, strong-headedness, inability to let down your own will for another man to control. So that's a church where there is no father figure. If you were all equals, after the position of the GS is an elective position, anybody can become it. So there is no order. It's a church where deacons can stand up and query pastor. He can gang up and sack their pastor. A ministry where a word is coming, people are inside analyzing the message. When they finish, they start firing the man. It's a church where politicians control pastor. Too religious, but far from the basic tenets of the gospel. One time I visited one in Ogoja where I went to preach. I had a conference in Cross River, and I used their church as the venue of the conference, a business conference. Some years back, that was in 2013. You see, when prayer is good, if you see them pray, the way they pray, if you see they are prayer warriors. They pray. But when they finish, some of them came to engage me in a discussion, greeting me. Man of God, thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother in Christ. These things you're teaching, eye opener. You see, that's what we have been telling our pastor here. I don't know what he's doing. We have tried to talk to him. We need this kind of seminars in church, but he will not listen. You need to see some of their members when they are talking, the way they address their pastors. You know, Emeka and Chidi. Emeka and Chidi. Your authorities. You know what gives me the right to talk the way I talk? I am a GO. So don't be looking at me like the way you're looking at me. What gives Pastor this impetus? I'm a rev. Don't mind where we are now. If you know my office in the realm of the spirit, you will not look at me the way you're looking at me. And if I have the opportunity of holding mic in any of their camp meetings, these are how I will talk to them. Fire them. Guys have messed up the gospel in Southeast. The churches that are not righteous, that are not holy, are prospering. Can't you see that God prospers people when they are in order? Not when they are righteous. Sorry, it's a mistake you have to amend. Righteousness is not first right living, it's actually first right standing. There's right living in righteousness. We are not disputing that. A church should be holy, a church should be righteous, a church should have values. But your values will perish in the valleys without order. It's easy to explain. Can't you see it's easy? Some of you don't understand it, but it's very glaring in the eyes for all to see. That it's not it's not your Christianity we are after. Is, are you a man under authority? That's what God checks. Are you a man? Was Lucifer not anointed? Was he not gifted? Was he not powerful? But why did he lose the throne? Order. Go to the book of Ruth, chapter 1. From verse 1, I'm going to read very quickly to the end. Ruth chapter 1. Ruth chapter 1. Any church that understands it. It's not even a church thing. I want to deal with it on an individual level. You see the way I am here? I can tell you till tomorrow, I'm not a perfect man. There's only one perfect man. He's Jesus. I'm not perfect in deeds. But can I tell you something? When it comes to the issue of order and authority, I have proven I am perfect. This life I live is not mine again. It's in the hands of one man. I'm here talking to you now. The moment my phone rings, reports, I don't care how many crowd is here, I've gone. I value that man more than 1 million members of Christian. I have an emotional attachment. I have an emotional connection with him. That if he tells me, Oga, it's not something I'm saying for saying sake. I don't need to. If an armed robber or a Boko Haram attacks me and my pastor, and there have to be an exchange of life for the other, there is no thinking twice. Choose who will die. We want to kill this man. Are you ready to give your life for him? There's something like, Pastor, let me go and pray and think. I'm coming in the front. Put the trigger. Kill me. Let him go. I'm not telling you what I feel like telling you. I'm telling you what I've prayed to God to give me an opportunity to experience. I put it on WhatsApp one time. I said, the greatest discovery in life is not the discovery of self, but the discovery of source. Some of you are fooling yourself with self-discovery. Some of you are fooling yourself with, I've discovered myself, I know my talent, I know my giftings. I say the greatest discovery in life is not the discovery of self. Self will kill you. You have run with your initiative and your, or whatever you can call it, all these years. What is the impact? What is the result? I've seen people who claim they are talented, who claim they are gifted. There's nothing I've not seen as a pastor. Many of them came through me with all their talents and their gifts. I can't. At the end of the day, show me one. I've not found one yet anywhere doing well. This one who used to be here, broadcaster. He's a very wonderful caster. If he talks here, you start tripping, but broke. He does not submit We were during the days when I was running my calf NGO. He was one morning he just stood up, took off. He's going to Lagos. He wants to go and explore media. I said, sit down. Let me tell you something. Before God uses you, he will make you sit down. He said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down. Oga, with all your gifts, all your potential, God can't use you until he makes you lie down. Before he multiplied the fishes and the bread, he told the disciples, tell everybody to sit down. You can't stand up and receive from God. You can't be looking eyeball to eyeball and think you will receive anything from God. He will make you sit down first. Say, he leads me beside still waters. The greatest discovery is not the discovery of self, potentials, ability, talent. Is the discovery of source. If you want to know how I know, go and ask Sinach. If you want to know how I know, go and ask Frank Edwards. If you want to know how I know, there is nothing that is special about Frank Edwards. Sinach does not have the kind of voice texture that appeals to me. Some of you here have dangerous voice textures more than her. She doesn't whine. She doesn't scale. All she knows how to do is to take the same thing Pastor Chris preached and write it as a song. She doesn't have an inspiration. Her inspiration is Pastor Chris. So now, Pastor Chris is dining and whining with Benny Hinn. Sinach is dining and whining with Benny Hinn now. Benny Hinn and Sinach flying all over the world now doing programs. Yes, she does not know how to sing. She discovered source. She was ready to submit. Do you know she was disowned by her people? That lady is from Africa here. You will never know. She doesn't have any business with you guys again. She don't go. So don't go and celebrate she's from our place. She's gone is that she's gone. The only time she came here was when she came to do her traditional marriage to fulfill all traditional righteousness. And she left. Her inspiration, Pastor Chris's message. Eben, what does he sing? His inspiration, Pastor Chris's message. Frank Edwards is, I'm walking in power, walking in miracle. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. Where did she hear it? It's Pastor Chris. I know who I am. She went and brought it and made a song. And you are buying it and making her a millionaire. If you know how much she's worth, she discovered source, not self. Because we have a lot of gospel artists, people who are more talented, jumping up and down. They think it's talent. I want to be like Frank Edwards. You need to know what Frank Edwards knows and do what he does. It's not rehearsals. It's not diligence, sir. It's not. Then look at all those Reverend Toms, Reverend Ray, them. Of course, do you know that Reverend Tom is not the second in command to Pastor Chris? I reliably heard Pastor Chris had 5 second in commands who all left. 5. Reverend Tom is a boy. That means when Pastor Chris was preaching as a reverend, Reverend Tom was running errands. So when you see people like him, Reverend Tom still submit under Pastor Chris, he knows he's a product of source. He knows all the lights on him is not his light. He's a product of source. It's source that has announced him. I usually ask people, you have jumped up and down for so long. Jump here, jump there, jump there, jump there. What has changed? Have you not deteriorated them more? Imagine you stay with this thing for just 3 years, consistently. What will happen in you? Most of the young ones I'm raising here, I'm proving it by the day as they spend time with me. Just some of you may be thinking we're in the same class. Class is changing by the day. Because if you will go further than your equals, it's because you are equipped with the feathers of your father. Go and sit down and check it. Check it. Check it. Check it. In every ministry. Go and check it. Go and check it. In every sphere. Go and check it. Do you know even in politics, as sad as it is, you don't need talent to become a governor. You need a godfather. Are you not foolish that you are in school? You know some of you, I gave an instruction one time. I asked, was it who I was talking to? Like all those, the people who are coming for women convention, are they available? So someone was telling me, we called the Equal people. One of the ladies said she's not coming. Why is she not coming? I don't know. And I gave an instruction. I said, if I don't see them here, I will send them out of church. Why? Because I can't put up with your stubbornness. If you are too busy doing clearance, let that clearance clear your destiny. You know, people don't have sense because they think it's about me, what I have. That's why I want to open your eyes today. If you open it, you will humble. That thing you think you can do, you want to do, you think you have, is what the devil used to finish you. I'm more talented than any man you can think about. Multi-gifted. Multi-gifted. Yet I'm a fool when it comes to submission. If you see me in Lagos where I serve in my pastor's church, you won't know it's me. All this thing you're seeing me doing here, in Lagos, I'm an usher. Look at Dr. Paul Enenche. With all his almightiness, I watched a clip where he invited Oyedepo to his church. Oyedepo finished preaching and he wanted to impact them. Guess what Oyedepo said? Where is my son, Enenche? He said, that is almighty Dr. Enenche. You tremble, yet he has a father. This man knows something some of you have refused to know. You have refused to know. Are you more beautiful than Becky Enenche, the wife of Dr. Paul Enenche? Have you seen her loyalty and submission to the husband? The same Oyedepo who went to Dunamis and said, where is my son, Enenche? And Enenche came with his wife. He laid hands on their head. Go and lay hand on him. An apostle needs an apostle over his life. Laid hands on the head of Dr. Paul Enenche. Both of them fell down. I thought that was over. Bishop Oyedepo did his 34th year anniversary in ministry. Shiloh, I think that was last year. Kenneth Copeland was the guest speaker. Kenneth Copeland from the US. Preached on that altar and turned, where is my son, David Oyedepo? And David Oyedepo came up to the stage, said, come with your wife. And both of them came. And he opened the Bible and was prophesying into his life. Oyedepo of all generals raised his hand like this. He was prophesying. He was saying amen. He prophesied amen. When he finished, he came to him, laid hands on Bishop Oyedepo, and blew air. The man fell down. Almighty Oyedepo. Papa Ayo Orisa Jaffo said one day his father in the Lord, Maurice Serello, called him all the way from the US. He was in worry. He said, son, I want to see you. He dropped the call. The guy entered his jet. These are men who have private jets. They submit. You who have no keke, you are giving headache. You are gone. The man entered his jet, took off, got to the US. The minute he landed, went straight to his father's office. Maurice Serello saw him. Ayo, you came? I just told you it's been a long time that I wish I could see you. And you already came. Yes, I heard you. You said I should come, that you want to see me. I acted on instruction. It's okay. That's all right. You can go back. I've seen you. Hope you're fine. How's your wife? How's the children? How's the ministry? All right. Bye-bye. I'm busy now. We'll see. He walked away. The man entered his jet and went back to Nigeria. Do you know how much it takes to fuel a jet to the US? There is a problem we have in Southeast. This thing is giving me heartbreak. I look around the potentials and talents they say we have. All the great men, young people who are equipped and gifted with talents, musically gifted, ministry-wise gifted, gifted in education, gifted. Their problem is submission. Familiarity blindfolds the eyes of people here. Their problem is submission. They want to do it their own way. But I look at their lives after 5 years. No progress has been made. And I say, are you not blind to see? I've given you case studies of men you know, men you celebrate, men you watch on your YouTube, men that you feel, oh, great man of God. And this is the secret. A BOME of Salvation Ministry, with all his exploit, any Shiloh he cannot miss. Any call from his pastor, Bishop Edebo, he has appeared. These are men. That's a man who they said in his church last year he burnt 3 billion naira buying 300 pieces of Prado Jeeps 2016 model and shared to church workers free of charge. A pastor. Have you heard of the one they call the one in Abuja? What's his name? Pastor. The one this guy brought to WDC sometimes back. What's his name? Talena. Joshua Talena. Have you heard of him? Do you know him? Powerful. He preaches like a Bible encyclopedia. Yet, Dr. Abel Damina that looks like his mate is his father. If Dr. Abel Damina calls him now, he drops his mic and he rushes to Uyo here. Sam Adeyemi, with all the great exploit he's doing, all the great work he's doing in Lagos, submits under Yodebu. Go and check any man who is truly a great man without submission. I will tell you a man who is doing fraud. It is not possible. Then all the talented guys you know, you who have been dead and so great, you have good ideas and beauty. Where are you? In the picture of all the great people, where are you? You who knows Bible cover to cover, where are you? That's the question. God does not contradict himself. He is a God of systems. Sometimes we preach it and you think someone is trying to bug you and make you feel. I'm showing you practically there is no other way. The key to elevation is submission. There's no other way. No other way. The world understands it better than us. Even in politics. Look at Dave Umahi. Can't you see the man is too wise? The governor is too wise because his pastor taught him well. When he was going for governorship in 2015, he was flagging who? Goodluck Jonathan. He won the election, but Goodluck Jonathan didn't win. But Goodluck Jonathan is no longer in power. Dave wants to remain in power. He wants to go back the second tenure. He knows it's not about the whole vote of the people in Eboy. He knows their votes may not count. He knows it's about submission. So the question is, what is a PDP man doing with an APC president? And you see the way he laughs with him. He calls him daddy. Dave calls Buhari my father. Anytime he's going to Abuja, he does not wear suit. He will wear Hausa Agbada. When he sees Buhari, he uses 2 hands to shake him. You go on social media and say, this man is a pretender. He knows how to pretend the submission well. APC in Ebonyi State is fighting him. When he comes to his state, he says we have only one party. It's PDP. When he goes to Abuja, he recognizes APC. Abuja. Did you see the day the president came here? See all the big billboards he puts with him. We welcome our dear president. But when he was running for 2015, it was Goodluck Jonathan. They were fronting, not Buhari. But Goodluck Jonathan didn't win. This is the man now in power. This is our daddy now. This is our daddy. This is our Abah in politics. Politicians are smart. So you see them smiling. You see him meet. He's flying everywhere. The man went to United Nations the other day. He followed him. He was sick. He was in London. He went there to visit him. Nnamdi Kanu's issue, he knows the president. Do you think Dave Umahi doesn't want Biafra? You think he doesn't know his people are being marginalized? You think he doesn't know? You don't fight authority. You do not do it. The man is trained. So you want him to go and align with Nnamdi Kanu. As long as the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned, they see them as rebels. So where do you think Dave should go and align? You want Dave to leave? Even if he wants the Biafra, he will go and call Nnamdi secretly. Say, let's be patient. Somehow something may happen. Let's not use violence. Let's be patient. He goes before Buhari and he's loyal to him. Because you're under the government of the man, not under the government of Nnamdi Kanu. So you now see why it's been difficult for Southeast governor to join Nnamdi Kanu. They know this thing. When you're there saying our Southeast governors are selfish, they are not. You know what they know? Submission. No, it's like somebody coming here now and is fighting me. Leave Precious, and some of you go and join queue with him. And you're like, our pastors are selfish. Imagine Pachi. Imagine this other part. He doesn't want to leave. They are very greedy pastors, selfish pastors. For them to join this other rebel who is doing a good job. Does it make sense? That's what you're trying to get the governors to do. Does it make sense? They are loyal under the government. Some of you are having problems with it. You are in today. Tomorrow you are out. Nobody to take stock of your life. You are in service today. You want to keep running your life. We don't have a problem with you, but you will end at that level. Sorry. Roots. See our problem. All these years of Christianity in Southeast, see our problem. See our problem. See our problem. From verse 1. I want you to follow this scripture because this is where I want to pick my point and close. During the time of the judges, there was a famine in the land. A man left Bethlehem in Judah with his wife and 2 sons to live in the land of Moab for a while. Quickly. The man's name was Elimelech and his wife's name was Naomi. I'm talking to you about the book of Ruth. So listen. The names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They entered the land of Moab and settled there. Naomi's husband, Elimelech, died. And she was left with her 2 sons. I think this story is so clear. Are you getting the storyline? I'm telling you a Bible story today. Tales of the Moonlight. Follow it well. Her sons took Moabite women. That's the sons of Naomi, whose father had just died. They are now of age to marry. They now took 2 Moabite women as their wives. One was named Orpah, and the second one was named Ruth. One was named who? Orpah, and the other one was named what? Ruth. Follow the storyline. Because at the end of the day, some of you who think you are good with dancing steps, your mates you came into church with will catch something you refuse to catch, and you will see the storyline will change. These people came into this family at the same time. 2 sons took their wives, came into the family the same time. After they lived in Moab about 10 years, what happened next? Both Mahlon and Chilion also died. Their father died 10 years ago. After 10 years, the 2 boys died. And Naomi which is the mother of the two boys and the mother-in-law of the two girls, was left without her two children and without her husband. Go down. She and her daughters-in-law prepared to leave Moab because she had heard in Moab that the Lord had paid attention to his people's need by providing them food. Go to the next verse. She left the place where she had been living, accompanied by her two daughters-in-law. So let's assume the mentor, Naomi, of the two ladies, is leaving her former location. The two daughter-in-laws followed her, but they were following with different spirits. She left the place where she had been living, accompanied by her two daughters-in-law, and traveled along the road leading back to the land of Judah. Yes. She said to them, each of you go back to your mother's home. Leave me alone. Go back to your mother's home. And may the Lord show faithful love to you as you have shown to the dead and to me. May the Lord enable each of you to find security in the house of your new husband. She kissed them and they wept loudly. Yes, the tears were flowing, but different tears. No, they said to her, we will go with you to your people. You know, when what you are saying to your pastor is on the strength of what another person has said, it's not your word. It's not your conviction. Because she said yes, you too said yes. But Naomi replied, return home, my daughters. Why do you want to go with me? Am I able to have any more sons who could become your husband? Yes. Return home, my daughters. Go on, for I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me to have a husband, tonight I am to bear sons. Yes. Would you be willing to wait for them to grow up? Would you restrain yourselves from remarrying? No, my daughters, my life is too much bitter for you to share, because the Lord's hand has turned against me. Where everything has failed, the whole family has crumbled, the whole ministry has crumbled, everything has capsided, everything has gone down. What is still there to follow me for? Everything is shaking. All the wealth is gone. You know, there are people who are following Pristine Hills because it's a beautiful church. It has a promising future. A church of just 2 years is doing so much already. It promises private jets. It promises that I'm going to be on the spotlight. The question is, if all those things finally didn't happen, will you still follow? Have you asked? I know you don't want this kind of message. What some of you want is the fire for fire. Receive it, take it. That's what you want. I don't have that energy to waste. I want to build a strategic house. I now know what Pastor Chris them know. I now know what my father in the Lord, Reverend David Oweli, knows. I now know what their Bishop Owelebo knows. In Southeast, we have shouted too much. Where is the proof? Which church in Southeast? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? I don't want again. Now, what I'm working on is a church that even if I have 12 people who have the kind of fraternal spirit I have, I'm good to go. Than to have a church of 1 million people and I'm celebrating half human beings and I don't know all of them are goats. So any day one little thing happened, all of them start finding their square root. To your tents, all goats. I'm building a strategic house. Do you know what has made the Catholic a very powerful church? Is this thing. You go to sermon, they bore you there. You just sit down there. But powerful is this thing. They put it in their view. You can't see a man who knows Catholic very well discuss his Reverend Father. For where? When we do elevation, leadership summit, I'm bringing a catechist here to come and talk. During an elevation summit, the leadership summit, He's coming to talk to us about the systems of the Catholic Church. They are not anointed, they don't have the message, but see the crowd. They don't know it. They don't know the word. They don't even know they are submitting, but they have indoctrinated them into it. They have given them a picture of their reverend fathers as God. When he wears out his white and comes out without his bell, everybody is going down their knees. Father. Whether you see the father kissing the woman in public or not, it's not your business. You do your eye like you didn't see him. Or Basaragi. Pentecostal in Igbo land. Thumbs up. You know what the catechist told me? He said, Pastor, I feel for you guys who are pastors in the Pentecostal churches. You guys are suffering because your churches are not organized. Your churches are full of pretenders. That's what he said. Full of truth breakers. He said, again they wept loudly. That's verse 14. And Abah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. So you see, beautiful kiss. The lady kissed her mother-in-law. Have you not seen holy kiss? But that carries harmful meaning. Carries a harmful message. Holy kiss. But it carries a very wicked message inside. Naomi said, look, your sister-in-law has gone back. So Abah went back to her people, to her God. Follow your sister-in-law. See Ruth's reply. But Ruth replied, do not persuade me to leave you or go back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. And wherever you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Keep going down. Where you die, I will die. No, we are not getting this message. We are hearing it like fairy tale. You don't get it. You don't get it. Until this enters you. All these pastors who pick up their phone and call you and you are doing them posting will die. Pastor calls you. Where are you? Hey, pastor. Hey, pastor, I'll see you. Don't worry. It will die. You don't yet have this thing. That excuse syndrome will die. That you're in today, tomorrow you are off for reasons we can't explain. It will die. This may be one of the hardest messages and best messages I would ever preach. Each time I watch any video of Christ Embassy's 31st night crossover, I see the whole hall full. I ask, don't these people have Christmas to celebrate? The whole place jam full. In the southeast, 31st night, churches have two people. Because everybody has gone to the village. Goats. You can't withhold an Igbo man from going to the village. But go to the west. All the Yorubas are in their churches. Their churches are jammed full. Because of 2 naira peanut you're looking for, you can't give up. That 2 naira you're looking for your destiny. That your heart is right with your pastor, and your pastor's heart is right with you. Only one word you need to settle your destiny. I say you have run all this your race you are running. Show me your car parking outside, please. Put up your hands. Show me your car. A service under my pastor that made me drive cars that I have not bought. I have not paid 1 naira for a car since I started driving cars. Service. Okay, but you know here when my pastor came, how early I left. That morning I left with my car to pick him up from the airport. My front tire was having a little leakage somewhere. So we went to the site together. We got to the site to fix that sound. We hearing shh. The tire was flattening. And I was supposed to be at the airport 7. His flight was for 7. So I was supposed to be there 7. So I called the mechanic. His number was off. When I got there, I found out my time was running. Do you know what I did? I said, "Oga, enter this car now." He jumped in the car. I entered, locked the door, took off with tire like that. I didn't care whether that tire damaged. Do you know, as I moved that car and was going, supernaturally that tire got healed. The guy who came to see the tire before the mechanic man, he said, "Don't go, wait." I said, "Wait what? My father is in the aircraft coming to Enugu. I'm supposed to pick him to Africa. I tell him to wait." I moved. I think we got to a place, 135. I stopped. Came down to check if the thing was happening. The tire was still intact. I drove that car like that to the airport, parked. I was waiting. General overseer of a ministry. I didn't go there to do GO. I went there to do protocol. I went there to do driver. The moment I got down there, I asked my pastor friend, who is the senior pastor of the church here. I said, "How far?" He said, "Man, Abah has delayed flight. His flight is going to be for 11. I said, "Wow." We stayed there. Few minutes to 11, we started feeling hungry. I said, "Let's go and look for something to eat." While we're going, my friend called me and said, "Where do you go?" I said, "Pastor, don't bother." I said, "Let's find something to eat somewhere." He said, you know. I said, "Okay, don't worry. Let's stay." We stayed back. The flight landed. Pastor David O'Wiley came out. Was working with his team. Others were going to go and do. I said, "Is this what they call me to go and do?" To go and hug him and kiss him. That's not my job. My job is to drive you, sir. I ran into the pilot vehicle, went and sat. When my brother came, I was like, "P, your father just came. You should be with him. You should be even be sitting." She was telling you should be sitting with him inside that jeep and be gisting like father and son. "Give me the steering." I said, "If you don't take your hand out of this, you want to collect my inheritance. Blessing, generational blessing. I'm looking for you. So you want to remove your hand from that." I entered. All other pastors there from this were looking at me. What kind of human being is this? I sat in that car. Took off. We took the Enugu road, drove. He came from Missions Conference, drove. And of course, this is a man I invited for a program August of that same year. He was supposed to be here. He couldn't connect a flight from Benin, where he was having a program, to this place. There was no flight connecting here, Benin to Enugu. So he thought of flying from Enugu, from Benin, down to Lagos and fly. And his CC pastor said, "No way." So some of his CC pastors said, "No, pastor, you can't go through that stress. We don't want to lose you." They struggled. They must say, "I have given Pastor Prince my word. I must be in Abakaliki for his program." He said, "Samson won't allow you." That's how they held him from coming for that program. Ordinarily, you know what I should have done? Take offense. How many times did I go to Lagos? At one time, pastor called me to come to Lagos for a program. I said, "Pastor, I won't only come. I will come with about 15 of my leaders. 3 of us. Were you in that trip? Were you in that trip? Okay. Were you in that trip? Were you in that trip? Okay. I sponsored this 15 of them straight to Lagos. Me, I went by air. We landed in Lagos. We went and registered for a conference. 10,000 each. 4 days or 5. We're in the hotel. For every, I think one of the days he came, he said, "I have something to clear in the wharf. It's 41 million naira to clear it. So I need some money here." I collected all our hotel money, 3 of us. All our hotel money and transport money. I went to the altar and went and dropped it. They knew there was trouble. Went and dropped it. The following day, he came. He said, "These white men I brought for this program, they are going back to America tomorrow." So, of course, he didn't say this one in the public. He was just calling few trusted sons. He called this other CC pastor, "Go and get me 500,000. He will go. He called Pastor Bana, "Go and get me 300,000. He went. I sat in the front knowing that it's my turn. Sooner than you expect, he called me, "Hey, come." I came. He said, "Go and get me 100K now. Do it in before 30 minutes and come and join this session of this training." I said, "Yes, in fact, where the money they have given all already. He should have been telling me, 'Thank you, sir.' You know, you came with 15 pastors and Abah, how do you guys cope? I should be giving you money now, you know." The man still sent me on errand again. I took off. I called her, called him. I said, "People should go and look for 100K for me now." Yes, the man gave me the heat. I transferred the heat. But at the end of the day, They went outside, carried their phone, pretended they were making calls. They called everybody in the ward that day. That money didn't come out. I was watching my time. Pastor said 30 minutes. I lifted up my hands to heaven. I said, Father, please, I need this money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I died the number once. I looked at their face. I knew there's no hope coming from their end. So I left them, went far. Went and sat down in one of the restaurants quietly. I said, I can't go back to my pastor without results. I called a particular guy. I said, please, I need 200K now. I am collateralizing my Hilux Jeep. Hold it for as long as you want until I pay you. The guy said, okay. Hey, you know it's Saturday. How do I? Okay, let me transfer. Send me your account number. I said, thank you, Jesus. He sent account number to me. Bam, I got the 200K. They were still there looking for money. I left and looked at them like this. Ran to my pastor. I said, Pa, I just got the alert. Can I transfer it to you? He said, yeah, you can. I opened, got his account number. I wanted to transfer the 100K. That same voice said, transfer all. I said, God, wait. Hold on. If I give this 100,000, if I give this 200,000 all, how do we transport back? I won't go by road. How do we fly? I said, transfer all. I pressed the 200K. Piam, it entered his account. So I went to say, Mpa, I've just transferred it. Check your phone. You have gotten there. Like, it's 200K. He said, oh, I told you 100 and you transferred 200. Okay. Go and join the class quickly and make sure you are writing here. I took off. Went back and joined the class. There was nothing else like thank you. We finished the evening of that. He spoke to me, I think, with a few leaders who were around me. We just talked gradually and briefly. He entered his car, took off with his police escort and all that. The following day was Sunday. We were supposed to be on our way back to our back clique to have church. I think church that day was miserable. We were supposed to be miserable. We were supposed to be on our way back. There was no money. We were buying, what were we even? Pure water with coke, with okpa and bread. You need to see the way we were living. We were owing the hotel people. We were owing the restaurant people. In the morning, I was in the bed. All of them came to the room with their bags. If you see their face, all of them. So how we going? I could perceive in their mind. I don't know what we entered though. What are we signing into? Holy Spirit, help us. I could see it in their faces. They're looking. He says, so how do we go? Do you have transport? No, sir. Do you have transport? No, sir. Do you have... Everybody knows. I say, it's good now. I like this lady. She knows the shame. She took off, mobilized people. He said, come, I have an idea. Do you know what they did? They went into the streets of Lagos to do Babiala. They went and started begging people on the street. Please, we came all the way from Backlake for a program here. But we're stranded, no money. Can you give us 1,000? Thank you, sir. Hello, please, we came all the way from Backlake. We were stranded here. 500. That's how they were gathering it. Gathering it. We couldn't gather it. We still had to leave for the park that same Sunday afternoon. I gathered my things. I checked, is there any flight that can take me back to Abakaliki, to Enugu? The only flight I had straight was 5 o'clock flight. So we got to the Agofere Park in Lagos. The money was not complete. Bus was already gone. It was around 12 we got there. Nothing, no headway, no movement, no nothing. Went and begged the bus guy, please, can you allow us enter your bus? When we reach Abakaliki, we'll pay you. For where? The guy refused. Right in the park, they started another round of Babiala. They begged in that park. That night met them there. Already I was able to find a way around my... Okay, I think she was the one that got 10,000 naira and paid into my account. I needed like about another 17,000 to make up my flight. 27,000 or so. So I looked for a way, made the money up. They got me a cab. I entered the cab straight to Ikeja to get my flight. I was there till 5. I was talking with them. How far? She said, we are still here. They slept in that park. They slept outside on the bench in that park. I got back to the airport around 7 or so in the night. Took my car, came back here. It was the following day. Finally, they got the money. The following day, they started finding their way. And not all of them. They came in batches. There are some that left on Monday. Some left on Tuesday. Some left on Wednesday. They went in batches. So the batch that got their own complete on Sunday had hope for Monday. There was a nigga continued by Biala on all of those stress we went through to bring Pastor David Oweli here. The man did not finally come. I should be offended. I should be angry. He finally did not come for the meeting after all the whatever arrangement and all that. And in October, he comes to town. And I go to the airport again to pick him. Took him to Afikpo. He was with me. While we're going, the car they were having, the last car behind, the thing busted tire or the radiator burnt. Their car stopped. We didn't stop. We kept moving. We ignored them. That's the man that matters to us here. We got to Afikpo. Lord Jimmy, it was when I parked the car and came down to open the door for Pastor that he said a word to me for the first time. So that was when I opened the door. I now knelt down. He looked at me and laughed. Pastor Prince. He carried me up and hugged me. This is why I was in his hand. He was rubbing me. I said, this is what I came for. I came for something else. So collect his wife. I was ordering the protocol. All right, let's go. I would run like a madman. See sweat on me. Open the door. He enters. I close the door. I stand outside. Anybody who is cross, I say, hey, get away. With my suit and my earpiece. So if you see me, you think I'm a trained protocol person. You know I'm a GO. Serving another GO. With my earpiece. Then Pastor Bana will come. Say, P, half. Wait. I say, he's inside. He's cooling off. Say, thank God. Say, man, the meeting don't start. We'll soon go. Okay. After a while, he will pass a call. I'm coming out now, So before he finished the call, he's already out. We are running again. Down the staircase. Like, enter the car. Enter. My friend, get into the car. That's what I was doing all through. I jump in the car. Enter. I'll drive block the road. The policeman will come down. Stop everybody. The other car will. I will enter my car again. Drive. Pilots. This thing they do for governor. That's what I was doing for my pastor. For 3 days in Afikpo. Now. Without clothes, without food, without accommodation. I was sleeping at the reception. I would just find one small chair. Put my leg like this. That's where I was sleeping. Not in a room. 3 days. We brought him here. For the 3 days he spent in Abakaliki at the ICC. That was where I got the blessing I was looking for. It was in that meeting he released it. Fathers will be looking at you may not know. They are watching you. One of the pastors this came to me and said, Pastor, teach me how do I covet your kind of humility, sir? He said, you are something else. I said, hey, you won't understand. It's revelation. I have revelation of the man I'm following. It was on that last day of the meeting when he finished preaching. They called for a seat. I went out for it. He looked at me and said, Pastor Prince, come. I went. So I was going. I was already crying and shivering. Some of you, you're too familiar. I knew my hour had come. I went. I was shivering. I was crying. The man looked at my eyes. I knelt down. This was how he put his hand on me. He said, I've watched you. He said, let me tell you people something here. When I was like him, Rehad Bonki used to come to Enugu those days. I would pursue Rehad Bonki. I would sow. I would serve. I would do everything. He said, one day Rehad Bonki picked me up like this. And he said to me, you're going to be the greatest voice from Southeast. So he said, Rehad Bonki said that thing to him. He said, his ministry took a new turn. He turned to me. As he was talking, tears was coming out from his eyes. He was crying. I opened my eyes. I looked at him. I started screaming, crying like a baby. When a father wants to bless you and he has tears in his eyes, you don't know you broke. So he said the normal thing, the thing came on him. Or like, Father, that same man. He was wearing a kaftan, his long kaftan. He now said, get me my 2 suits there. He prepared 2 suits for me. He get me my 2 suits there. His chief protocol guy brought the 2 suits. He said, Lord, the same thing that works in me. I pray the future of this state, the future of Ebonyi State, the future of Southeast, I release it into your hands. Take it. He put the 2 things on me. When he was done with that, he took off. He left that environment, piam, with his boys, and left. I was rolling from one side of the altar at the ICC here. All the pastors and boys were there. Rolling from one side of the altar to the other, rolling and screaming. The moment I heard another pastor pick the mic and say, Amen, praise the Lord, let's take up our offering, the anointing lifted. The spirit of a prophet is subject to a prophet. The anointed lifted. I said, yes, I need the anointing, but I'm also a man on service. So I looked, because has he gone? I looked, where is he? He's no longer in his seat. I heard siren outside. I said, this man has gone. My father, my father. I collected my car key, forgot my iPad and Bible. It was somebody who collected my iPad and Bible and pursued after me to give it to me. I collected my car key, ran out like a madman. My car must be in the front. I ran out like a madman again. With all the kata, tears, sweat, my suit was already mudded up. Jumped into my hillocks. Piam, took off. Went over, took them again. And we got to the governor's lodge where he was lodged. Midway, I parked, I came out. The man looked at me. He won't talk. Look at me. Just in his mind, this is not a human being. Same person I put under the power. He will still. Other persons would have said, I'm under the power, so let them go. I still pursue them. Hunger is a gift from God. Some of you who are not hungry, you are so normal. It bugs me that my pastor calls me. I don't feel normal about it. Some of you miss your pastor's call and feel okay. It's a sign you are not a man of destiny. You're not. I wish I can transfer this same heart I have into your heart, so you know how it feels. I am so emotional for my pastor more than I'm emotional for my wife. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can be looking at pastor on a video, he'll be talking to me. I've lost my head. Like, why does this man make it an idol out of this? You'll be talking to me, I'm looking at him. Looking at him. And that same thing is, that short video. My whole body, the tears starts entering. Looking at him. Sometimes tears starts coming out from my eyes. When he finishes, you want to talk. The thing you are talking doesn't enter me. Why did I even tell them the story? And some of you doesn't bother. Because you were trained to be a person of your own. You were raised to be a man of your own. You don't need a pastor. You don't need anybody. Can we finish up that scripture? Remove that woman. Give me another. That's not how our sisters look. Let me not see that picture there again. Don't know what you're trying to do. If you've met my pastor, you know I carry his spirit. You don't need to be told. You will know it's in me. It's not something you know the thing is inside. I don't care whether you think I am a perfect man or a righteous man. In terms of order, I am in order. I don't care your opinion about me, my friend. Where you die, I will die. And there I will be buried. See such level of loyalty. Sometimes I tell people, it's not about what you say. Does your heart say the same? May the Lord do this to me and even more, if anything but death separates you and me. See, somebody is taken just to follow her mentor, just to follow her pastor, just to follow her shepherd. When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped trying to persuade her. Quickly. The two of them traveled. There was a day, I want to share this story. A particular lady in this church forced tears out of my eyes. Twice she has done something like that and I marked it. First, it was one morning, some people got me offended. I packed my things. As I'm leaving a boy. What are you doing? I'm getting out of a boy. I'm not here anymore. These people don't understand what God has given them. A boy will lose their prophets and I don't care. I was serious. I packed. I put every of my properties, my books, my bags in my hillocks. I did it. They were in the house holding me. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Daddy, don't go. It's her actually I'm talking about. And this one was there too. I think she was also there. Were you there? He was not around. Daddy, you're not going. Daddy, you're not going. They were holding me. I took off. They were crying like children. I sent text messages to some people that I was leaving town. Do you know some were gracious to reply me? Safe journey, sir. We'll miss you, sir. Safe trip. Some sent me text message. These other ones knew what was happening. I entered my Hilux, drove my car, rushed down to the office to go and get more books. While I was entering the office, an Okada was behind me. It was her. You see the reckless drive the Okada was driving. With tears in her eyes, she jumped into the office. I was like, what are you doing here? Get out from this place right now. I don't want to see any of you. Get out! I roared. The lion in me came out. You know what she did? Instead of running away, she ran towards me, held me on my leg and screamed, "That if you go, I am finished." That there's no life without you. I don't have any life. I don't have any life. I stood there, my heart broke into trash. I looked at the girl's eyes. I saw the redness. I saw the tears. Her face was red. The catarrh coming out. I broke down like a baby. I cried that day. She was still crying. I went to the floor and picked her. I said, I won't go. I'll stay. She rushed me, held me. I said, this is daughter. There are some in their heart who have signed it. Oga, go. No, Allah. We are happy. Go. We'll have peace of mind now. Go. Is your future? That's what we are building here. You think it's my future? It's your future. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's your future. There's some of you who will be vice chancellors in our university. It's your future. There's some of you who will be pilots driving our aircraft. It's your future. There's some of you who would work in our secondary schools. It's your future. So downplay on it. There's some of you who will be managers in our microfinance bank. It's your future. So if you like, downplay on it. Downplay on the music industry. It's your future. Believers Love Word didn't have Believers Love Word record years back. Some people saw it coming. They stayed with it. Today there's Believers Love Word record. They are singing anything and putting it in the world. Some are even featuring them more now. It's your future. So if they like, those of you in wherever, they call you and you say, I'm not coming, ma. Nothing, ma. You lack sense. After I'm traveling, some of your pastors are already becoming so wearied because they wonder, what kind of human beings do we have in the southeast? You show them love, show them care, show them everything, they still give you headache. The two of them traveled until they came to Bethlehem. When they entered Bethlehem, the whole town was excited about their arrival. And the local women exclaimed, can this be Naomi? Go down. Don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara. Why? She answered, for the Almighty has made me very bitter. Go down. I left full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi? Says the Lord has pronounced judgment on me, and the Almighty has afflicted me. So Naomi came back from the land of Moab with her daughter-in-law, Ruth, the Moabitess. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Okay, that's the end of this. Let me show you what happened in verse chapter 2. It's quite a long reading, but you'll get it. We'll finish. Now, Naomi had a relative. It's getting interesting now. On her husband's side. named Boaz. He was a prominent man of noble character from Elimelech's family. What happened? Ruth, the Moabitess, asked Naomi, will you let me go into the fields and gather falling grain behind someone who allows me to? Virtuous woman. Virtuous woman. I don't want to be idle, ma. Can you please permit me, ma, to find something I can do to make a living for you and me? Everybody look up and be very concentrated. You don't have dull brains, in Jesus' name. Say, I'm alive unto God. I'm alive in the spirit. Everything pastor is saying is entering my ear, and it's not going out from this one. It will settle in my heart. Okay. Is it, will you let me go to the field and gather falling grain behind someone who allows me to? Naomi answered her, go ahead, my daughter. A foolish daughter would not care. She will sit in the house waiting for the woman to go and do the job. He said, go ahead, my daughter. So Ruth left and entered the field to gather grain behind the harvesters. She happened to be in the portion of land belonging to Boaz. And the Bible said Boaz was the richest man in that city. She happened to be in the portion of land belonging to Boaz, who was from Elimelech's family. Quickly. Later, when Boaz arrived from Bethlehem, he said to the harvesters, the Lord be with you. The Lord bless you. They replied, go ahead, quickly. Boaz asked his servant, who was in charge of the harvesters? Whose young woman is this? Keep going. The servant answered, she is the young Moabite woman who returned with Naomi from the land of Moab. Keep going down. She asked, will you let me gather falling grain among the bundles behind the harvesters? She came and has remained from early morning up till now. Walking from early morning up till now. She has been walking. Let me tell you what opens the heart of people towards you is your character. Your virtue. It's not your beauty. Women, don't be deceived. It's not your beauty. It's not your walking steps. It's not your bum. It's not your boots. It's your inner beauty. See, except that she rested a little in the shelter. Then Boaz said to Ruth, now the guy walked up to Ruth and said, listen, my daughter, don't go and gather grain in another field, and don't leave this one. And don't leave this one, but stay here close to my young women. Quickly. See which fields they are harvesting and follow them. Haven't I ordered the young men not to you when you are thirsty? And go and drink from the jars the young men have filled. Quickly, let's run. She bowed with her face to the ground and said to him, why are you so kind to notice me? See courtesy, see etiquette. Why are you so kind to notice me, although I am a foreigner? Quickly. Boaz answered her, everything you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband's death has been fully reported to me. I'm taking you somewhere. Has been fully reported to me how you left your father and mother and the land of your birth, and how you came to a people you didn't previously know. May the Lord reward you for what you have done, and may you receive full reward from the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to of refuge. Quickly. My Lord, she said. See the way she addressed the man. My Lord. It's not Oga. Auditor. My Lord, she said, you have been so kind to me, for you have comforted and encouraged your slave, although I am not like one of your female servants. Quickly. At mealtime, Boaz told her, come over here and have some bread and dip in the vinegar sauce. So she sat beside the harvesters, and he offered her roasted grain. She ate, and she was satisfied and had some left over. Quickly. When she got up to gather grain, Boaz ordered his young men, be sure to let her gather grain among the bundles and don't humiliate her. Pull out. Do you know your character is your security? There's a way you are. Anywhere you go, people can touch you. They say a guy, a rape woman, if they see you, they will just give you a chance. Guys select who they rape. Do you know the guys? Do you know the people guys go after? All these rapist guys you whatever hear about. They don't go after humble women. They go after arrogant girls. Rapist likes the struggle. No rapist likes to go after a girl that is weak. It's not fun. The fun of raping a girl is that you're an arrogant girl. So when a girl says, I was raped, I watch her. Yes. Hello? Guys like to struggle their way through to get what they want with a lady. So before they finally made that attempt on you, they have watched you. They see that you are a sparky sanguine. So on your street, you're like, hey, Tushbe, have fun now. They say, that's the right girl. They like the struggle. The beauty of rape is not that they had sex. The beauty of rape is that they fought with you while having it. Am I talking to you? So if you like, keep doing your skimpy. They see you are sparky. All those ones who are not timid though, humble, courteous, they walk around. God bless you, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Those decent ones, they don't go close to them. They don't. The ones who are in church but claim the word is still in them, they are the ones they go for. Have I solved rape problem? So any day they are attempted on you and you come and say they wanted to, I will ask your madam, check your life. You are a proud woman. That's why they came. You are arrogant. You are humble. It's just like my daughter here now. You say they'll come and rape her. Who want to try? Just come and say you want to. Can't you see her quietness, her humane? Either she sees me and she wants to agree. The way you will just melt. Even the rapist will melt. It is the way a guy wants to rape you, will attempt raping you, and you talk to the guy, he will start crying. Say, bro, what if I was your sister? Hey. Bro, I used to see you on this street and I used to admire you from a distance. You're not like this. He would die. I was like, give me alone. Give me. He likes it. That's what is encouraging him. Amen. But no, don't go ask the pastor, have you done this thing before? I've not. I'm a very versatile human being. Pull out some stocks from the bundles for her and leave them for her to gather. Don't rebuke her. See how the man is instructing people for her. Yes. So Ruth gathered grain in the field until evening. She beat out what she had gathered, and it was about 26 quarts of barley. Quick. She picked up the grain and went into the city where her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. Then she brought out what she had left over from her meal and gave it to her quickly. Then her mother-in-law said to her, where did you gather barley today? And where did you walk? May the Lord bless the man who noticed you. Ruth told her mother-in-law about the men she had walked with and said, the name of the man I walked with today is Boaz. See the woman's reply. Then Naomi said to her, daughter-in-law, may he be blessed by the Lord, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living or the dead. Naomi continued, the man is a close relative. He is one of our family. Do you see that mentors see what you don't see? You see submission and the power of it. All she knows is I met a man. He gave me a job. I worked, and the woman who did not go to the field took it further. Started describing the kind. Do you now see some of those independent decisions you want to take? You will not come and bring before your pastor. You want to travel. You just enter motor, and move. Don't worry. The day of reckoning is coming. Something is doing it in this church. And you may say that's the way you were brought up. You better bring that you're brought up down. It's going to destroy you. You want to make a move. You just you're out because you are who? It will catch up with you soon. So you grieve from a very faulty, I understand it. That's why I'm trying to help you. You don't have a Mordecai over your life. You don't have somebody who, look at Esther. Time will fail me to talk about her. We'll soon finish this. Time will fail me because of time. Go and read Esther chapter 1 and all that. You see that Esther couldn't have become the queen of that land, of that city, if it was not Mordecai. It was Mordecai that prepared Esther for the palace. You think you know the road to the palace? You're joking. There's somebody who knows it better than you. Then Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, okay, he is one of our family redeemers. Go down. Ruth the Moabitess said, he also told me, stay with my young men until they have finished all of my harvest. There's nothing to hide with the man. Nothing to hide with your mentor. Nothing to hide with your spiritual father. Maybe he's a guy who asked you out as a lady. He wants to take the crunches. Because you are independent, you put the meeting. No problem, 4 o'clock is good. He will say, hold on, let me get back to you. Hello, Mpa. Hello, Daddy. There's this guy who met me. I met him actually at ShopRite, and he's been trying to play some, and all that. He said I should come to crunches with him. What do you think, sir? The father can ask. There are questions he will ask you. You don't know the answers. When he's done with, you'll be so shocked that maybe it's a wrong meeting. That is, he will say to you, you can't fathom with your mind, with your head. You see the way the lady is talking about her own business. He said, the man said to me, stay with me. Okay, so Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, my daughter. Okay, Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Ruth, my daughter, it is good for you to walk with his young women, so that nothing will happen to you in another feud. Hear this. The man said to Ruth, stay with my what? The woman is saying to Ruth, it is better you do what? Please go to the previous verse 22. So Naomi said to her daughter, 21. Ruth the Moabite said, he also told me, stay with my young men. He didn't hear it. See Boaz's instruction to Ruth. Stay with my young men until they have finished all of my harvest. See Naomi's reply to Ruth. So Naomi said to her, my daughter, it is good for you to walk with his young women, not the young men. See your mentor. It is good for you to walk with his young men, so that nothing will happen to you in another field. That place he said you should go and walk, I suspect there could be 1 or 2 guys whose eyes are not wrong, because God is preparing something great for you. That guy in that field may sabotage it. It may be one of the most revered men of God God is preparing for you. Just one guy you gave access to, just one kissing he did to you, that man's heart leaves you for life. You are gone. It could be one of the best lawyers in town, one of the best soldiers, one of the best Christian in town. God is fixing up. Because you are independent, you sabotage that future with one useless boy who is a nobody. Because you're doing hide and seek. The boy tells you, come to my house. You jump, carry your bag, and walk in. You didn't know the day you walked in was the day your king Ahasuerus was there watching. And you said, no, you didn't walk in to do any wrong thing. No. You only walked in to, honor the invitation. But you didn't know the message you sent. See what mentorship does. He said it is good you walk with his young women, not the young men. Because there's a way that Boaz will see you with his young men, and his intention you never can tell what he's up to. Remember, he's the richest guy in town. Aha. So all of this 21st century we are forming, see your Bible. I don't know where some of your freedom is coming from. See your Bible. Pastor, what is it? You're trying to restrict me? Are you saying I shouldn't be seen with guys? You don't know what he's trying to do with you. Pastor, are you trying to restrict me? Are you saying I shouldn't go out on a date with guys? You don't know what he's trying to restrict. I know that some of you, Pastor, pick up, would you find a cool and let's go. Don't worry. You don't need to bother your life. It's a matter of few years' time, okay? Don't bother. 1 or 2 or 3 people are getting it. Others, you don't need to bother. But the way it works is that the 3 or the few who get it will prove the results, then you will believe. Either ways, if the 12 refuse to believe in Jesus now, after he rises from the dead, they will believe. Don't worry. It's a matter of time. You will get it. Maybe not today, maybe 10 years' time. What matters is that you got it. But sorry, it may have been too late. So be there doing it. It's your Bible. Quickly, no time. Forgive me, women convention. Ruth stayed close to Boaz's young men, so she carried out the instruction. She didn't go back here and went and did with the men. She actually went to do it. Ruth stayed close to Boaz's young women and gathered grain until the barley and the wheat harvest were finished, and she lived with her mother-in-law. Do you know there's some people I've told, ladies, remove your DP from your WhatsApp. There's some ladies I've told, you know, when you say you have a father and you have a mentor, you don't need to tell him how to mentor you. He knows what is best for you. There's some people I've told, remove your DP. Because you don't know how people interpret what you do on social media. Some of those selfies you go and snap and put, you don't know the signals and the message is sending. That communication is not just talking. Communication is also what you are doing. Communication is your non-verbal expression. It's not just your verbal expression. Non-verbal expression is communication. I tell some people, be careful what you wear. You wear one kind of sleeveless. This side is open. We can see the center, whatever, cavity. Come and fix this stuff for me. You can see the center cavity. And you know you have some flesh everywhere. Digital pastor. Amen. You know you have your hair is too big. Amen. It's not a sin for me to talk about it. It's God that created it. Think I don't wish I have one. Amen. You know big. Come. Stand, let me see you. Is this not a Queen Esther in a making? This is good. So what makes you think because you are not in church on Sunday, you shouldn't look like this every day of the week? Some of you, the only place you look decent is on Sunday. On Monday, you are going to the market. And you use that your wonder bra and you pull the thing up. You pull it up. So when you are walking, the whole place is, all your body is dancing skelewu. Then you wear the one that I don't know if it is when they press the clothes, you wore the clothes that the iron pressed you with the clothes. It will just tight and one black shine thing like that. Everything will just come out. You to make it worse, you now wear one kind of, there's this kind of high heel they wear. You just have a compulsory bow leg. So I don't know how you guys do, but be careful what you do in the name of fashion. You are sending a message about you don't know. Then the kind of people you'll be attracting are dogs who. And let me tell you, when a guy wants to get what he wants from you, he goes real. What I mean by he goes real in your own interpretation, not in his own. He goes real. He won't tell you he's fake. He goes real. He will whine you. He will twist you. He will reset your brain. Then he will start with WhatsApp. Start giving you some cool rhymes. Guys are good with it. And you, because I don't know if it's chicken brain or turkey brain, you're already crying in your bed. And where he's busy giving you the rhymes, he's also multi-chatting with another lady, giving them the same rhymes. I wish I heard that hey again. Hey! guys are good resetting ladies' brain. Because ladies' brain don't have formula. Guys, set it for them. Is your life consisted in that? See a woman who is beautiful. See another person determining how to live her life. Who says because you're beautiful I shouldn't have control over the way you behave? My daughter, shouldn't I find security for you? Look at it. Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, my daughter-in-law, shouldn't I find security for you so that you'll be taken care of? That's chapter 3. We are going to finish it there. Now, isn't Boaz our relative? The woman is working in a particular industry, doing her work diligently. Her mentor starts seeing something she can't see and starts communicating it to her. He said, now, isn't Boaz our relative? Haven't you been working with his young women? That means you have not had opportunity to waste your life with those young men. That means, in a way, you have already given this man a good track record of who you are. You have been industrious. This evening, he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. The woman who works in the industry does not know the activity of his boss. Her mentor knows the man's schedules. Her mentor knows the man's next activity. Because no matter how far you climb on a mountain, what your father sees on the floor and see, you can't see it. I wanted to marry a lady at the time. I was obsessed with the passion of ministry. Too obsessed. Passion of ministry. So what was my criteria for the woman I would get married to? She must be a ministry material. She must be able to kita kala toro toro paranora nina. And I thought I had the best idea. I didn't balance it. Because all I wanted was to become a Pastor Chris. I want to become another Pastor David. So I'll be looking any woman I want to marry. The first thing I'm looking is Mommy Sarah. Looking for Mommy Sarah. I want a woman who can vibrate, who can dress like Mommy Sarah, who can fire. She will preach and remove her shoe and throw and run from pillar to post. I was looking for that kind of thing. And I found the devil sent me one. And the one the devil sent is the ministry indeed. She has the ministry. She comes over here. Hey, I know who I am. I am a victorious. I am a Achilles. A Michaelius. She had the whole thing. Now, I don't know what happened to this anointed man of God. I fell in love. Before my wife, I captured her. And I was supposed to with my friends. I found my wife. The mother of my sons. I didn't know I was also a son to her. One day we opened. In my mind, I was like, let me find out today what this lady's age is. I told her my age. I said, can I know your own? She said, well, age doesn't matter. What matters is that the two people love themselves, So I love you. That's what matters, I found that she was 7 years older than me. Hello. I'm not telling you what happened to me as an unbeliever. I'm telling you what happened to me when I was healing the sick. I was really pastoring this church. I already had the anointing to raise the dead. Hello, Pa. Pastor Prince, how are you? I'm fine, Pa. I'm coming to Lagos with my wife to be. He said, oh, beautiful. That's good. I like that. That's good. Okay, bring her. We took off to Lagos with some leaders. I didn't know I was foolish. I dressed in my best suit, carried seed. I think a seed of 300K in my hand. Packaged. went to my pa. Like, Daddy, thank you for all the blessings. Yes. I was seated with the woman. So you say you wanted to show me the woman you're getting married. Where is she? See her standing by you. Where is she? I said, Pa, actually, I want to introduce you to her. That if you hear her preach, if you hear this woman preach the word, she's too much. It's okay. The first question my father asked the lady was, no, oh, welcome. Where are you from? She stated, Enugu State. I said, okay, that's good. When did you graduate from school? Do you know that question, when did you graduate from school, is how old are you? You can't track fathers. There's a way they are. The question he asked was, when did you graduate from school? He didn't ask, what is your... He won't ask it. The girl told him, already my pa knows when I graduated, so he did the mathematics. So we just talked, he just played around a few things. Then he told me, he said, you can give me a few minutes, let me talk with my son, just a few minutes. The lady walked outside. You know what Pastor did? Pastor stood up. Are you crazy? You are a fool. Sit down. You are a big fool. Is there injection in your head? Is there chloroquine inside your head? I stood where I stood confused. Look at him. He looked at him and said, I'm disappointed in you, my friend. I went on my knees and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm sorry, Daddy. You don't leave me like this. He said, you would have told me you were bringing your mother for me to approve. And get out from here, my friend. Get out. I said, get out. I said, Daddy, I won't leave. Teach me. I'm just a 27 years old man. Help me now. After a while, he sat down. Without opening a book, the man dismantled confusion in 1 minute. There and there, I called the lady. I said, this thing is, I love you. My pastor said, no headway, and I've seen it's true. I said, but you know this thing is logically, socially not correct. Look at, I'm a pioneer of a vision. The man gave, I said, in 5 minutes, what he said to me, you can't find in textbook. My eyes opened. I said, I came out, I saw her. It's like there was a charm on me. The thing was broken. If I did not have a father, you would have had a mother. I would have been your senior brother. My wife would have been my mother too. This is almighty me. You now see that no matter my apostolic covering, there are things I still can't see. For myself, not for you. For you, I can't see anything. For myself, I need another person to see for me. Please, can you see your back? Come. This is you. Come. See how leadership is. This one is leading people. He can only see ahead. Let me tell you, leaders don't lead from the front. Leaders actually lead from the back. They lead from the back. You know why? Because they have been where you want to be. But to take you there, they have to come to your level. That's the road. Where are we going? No. Wait. See trap there. Can't you see? Avoid it. That's the road. Keep going. So I am able to show this person how to go. Because I am here. Showing him. But him now cannot see what is behind him. He needs me, who is here, to watch his back and show him how to go. That's the same thing that applies to this person. Let's assume this person takes my position in his life as a leader. Any day this person lives here, no matter what you are seeing there, you can't navigate it. That's why the leader doesn't need to be there for him to see Father. If you like, go and climb Kilimanjaro. I only need to be as far as there to see Father than you. Because that place you're going to have gone it before you. And I've returned from that journey. Is someone hearing what I'm saying? So that's what my pastor did with me that day. It became clear to me I was making a mistake. So I can see for you. But me, I'm also on a journey. My own journey. I need another man who has been there to see for me. Consider. I need that. That's what this woman did. See what Naomi said to her daughter-in-law that changed her history. Don't forget the premises. Two people started a journey together. One missed it, the other one collected the best out of it. Now see mentorship. Is a wash. Let's go and take your bath. Put on perfumed oil and wear your best clothes. Go down to the threshing floor. But don't let the man know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. All the things the lady is saying to this girl, she does not know it. She has never known them before. But look at the woman who has been where she wants to be, teaching her the culture, the norms, the ethics, the tradition of how you need to behave to get the best thing you're looking for. Down, 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 down. Okay, when he lies down, notice the place where he's lying. He said, don't go in while he's eating. She didn't know it. But she now knows it. Don't go when he's eating and drinking. Wait until he goes to lie down. When he lies down, notice the place where he's lying. Go in and uncover his feet and lie down. Then he will explain to you what you should do. See a woman foretelling without being a prophet, because she has been where you want to be. He said, just open the man's feet, then lie down. Don't do any other thing. The lady did not ask, please explain all these things you've told me. What does it mean? She doesn't need to know what it means. All she needs to do is what she has been told. So Ruth said to her, I will do everything you say. Chickena. She went down threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law had instructed her. Everything. Everybody say everything. After Boaz ate, drank, and was in good spirits, he went to lie down at the end of the pile of barley. Then she went in secretly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. At midnight, Boaz was startled, turned over, and there lying at his feet was a woman. Go down. So he asked, who are you? I am Ruth, your slave. She replied, spread your cloak over me, for you are a family redeemer. See what the mother-in-law taught the girl. That's what she's carrying out. Then he said, may the Lord bless you, my daughter. You have shown more kindness now than before. So that man who has been admiring Ruth secretly, Ruth didn't know. But the man is loving the girl, but he doesn't know how to open up. And the mentor just passes by and sees the man's gesticulation, and she registers it. This man is in love with this girl. But the girl didn't know. They see what you don't see. So the man is now happy because what he couldn't say, this woman has finally done. So you show me more kindness now than ever before, because you have not pursued younger men, whether rich or poor. Do you now see that instruction? Don't go to the field where the young men are. Go to the field where the young women are. Am I helping you today? Okay. Let me see why you will not buy me a car in this church or build me a house. Now, don't be afraid. My daughter, I will do for you whatever you say. Since all the people in my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Who molded the character? Her mentor. Who taught her how to behave? Don't go to the field of the men, because you're always in that company of men. Even if you're not doing anything, you have scattered your character. It's not, let me tell you, this 21st century where people are, most of these free moral agent families who, I allow my wife, she does anything she wants. My guy can do anything she wants and all that. I know a lady, I wish I told her husband this early enough. Now she's having a very serious problem. She just got into a business. And the business always bringing her around men. Every time she's from here to there, here and there. Men. I looked at the thing and I said, so in my heart I was like, okay, maybe they have an agreement. I was like, I like the kind of flow between these two people. At the time I even told her, I said, I like the flow. The man is free. The woman can move up and down. The man is free. She can. There's no godly woman, godly man. That same woman has come to a point where her heart has moved as far as Mount Everest. There is no chicory feeling for the husband. No chicory, no smoke. She's after another young man now, and she can't help herself. Okay, 21st century, you are married, but you like the company of men. The devil will use what you like to trap you. You must know your vulnerability. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Billy Graham said that what has helped him in ministry, stayed chaste and not cheated on the wife, is because he knows his vulnerability. So he gives a law: don't enter my car if you're a woman, because when I see your legs, my whole body will change color. So because I don't want to cheat on my wife, don't come close. You must put boundaries. If God puts his law here, his boundary here, please don't go close to that. Go and put your own boundary far. That means, God, your own is even too close. So I will take my own a little bit further from your own boundary. Ruth perhaps wouldn't have done anything with those young men, but appearances. There are things you can't handle in the heart of people. No matter how you explain it, there are things you can't handle in the heart of people. You're married. Every time your husband sees you, you are taking selfie with guys. He may be doing well, no problem, but you will give room for the devil to interpret it. So sometimes we want to help some ladies and they think he's trying to lord over me. He's trying to control me. He's not trying to control you. He's trying to put you in security. That's what Naomi said. Shouldn't I provide security for you? Yes, it is true that I am a family redeemer, but there is a redeemer closer I am. It takes being the right woman to attract the right man. So this man, by culture, is the man who is supposed to marry Ruth if the husband is late. Yeah, culturally. The one who is the closest to you is the one who should come and ask for your hand in marriage and continue the rites of marriage where your brother stopped. That's what it should be. But now, see, this man is also as truthful as Ruth, because it takes having the right values to attract the right person. Instead of the man swindling the person whose real right it is, he opens up to her and says, go back, I didn't finish it. He said, yes, it's true that I am a family redeemer. I am actually a family redeemer, but there is a redeemer closer than I am. So there is somebody before me. The man didn't lie to the woman, but see what happened. It's a very interesting story. Go. Stay here tonight, and in the morning, if he wants to redeem you, that's good. Let him redeem you. But if he doesn't redeem you, as the Lord lives, I will. Now lie down until morning. Continue. So she lay down at his feet until morning, but got up while it was still dark. Then Boaz said, don't let it be known that the woman came to the threshing floor. Yes. quick, oh. And he told Ruth, bring the shawl you are wearing and hold it out. When she held it out, she shoveled 6 measures of barley into her straw and she went into the city. The man keeps giving her because of who she is. Yes. She went to her mother-in-law every time. She's reporting back to her mentor, reporting back to her covering, reporting back to her covering. Naomi, who asked her, how did it go? My daughter. Then Ruth told her everything the man had done for her. Yes. She said, he gave me 6 measures. Please, 21st century or 31st century women, this is who you should be. He gave me 6 measures of barley because he said, don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. Wait, my daughter, she said, until you find out how things go, for he won't rest unless he resolve this today. Yes. So you see how this woman is training this woman. Don't go back to him. Use the law of scarcity. Wait. Let him not see you, so he will be quick about the matter. If he sees you, he will postpone it. Wait. Boaz went to the gates of the town and sat there. Soon the family redeemer, Boaz, had spoken about. Soon the family redeemer, Boaz, had spoken about, came by. Boaz called him by name and said, come over here and sit down. So he went over and sat down. Let's run quickly. Then Boaz took 10 men of the city's elders and said, sit here. And they sat down. He said to the redeemer, Naomi, who has returned from the land of Moab, is selling a piece of land that belongs to our brother Elimelech. Yes, I thought I should inform you. Buy it back in the presence of those seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. This is a worthy man. This man likes to do things the right way. So nobody will come up tomorrow and say he stole somebody's whatever. But if you do not want to redeem it, tell me so that I will know. Because there isn't anyone other than you to redeem it. And I am next after you. I want to redeem it, he answered. Go down. Then Boaz said, on the day you buy the land from Naomi, you will also acquire Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of the deceased man, to perpetuate the man's name on his property. Keep going. The redeemer replied, I can't redeem it myself, or I will ruin my own inheritance. I don't want to bequeath my inheritance to another man, a man who is dead and all that. Take my right of redemption because I can't redeem it. Prayer answered. Yes. At an earlier period in Israel, a man removed his sandal and gave it to the other party in order to make any matter legally binding concerning the right of redemption or the exchange of property. This was the method of legally binding a transaction in Israel. So an elder removes his sandal and there's an exchange to show this is now due. Yes. So the redeemer removed his sandal and said to Boaz, buy back the property yourself. Yes. Boaz said to the elders and all the people, you are witnesses today that I am buying from Naomi everything that belongeth to Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. Yes. I will also acquire Ruth, the Moabitess, Mahlon's widow, as my wife to perpetuate the deceased man's name on his property, so that his name will not disappear among his relatives or from the gate of his home. You are witnesses today. Go down. The elders and all the people who were at the gate said, we are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is entering your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built the house of Israel. Let's leave the story for another day. May you be powerful in Ephratah and famous in Bethlehem. Yes. May your house become like the house of Perez, the son Tamar bore to Judah, because of the offspring the Lord will give you by this young woman. Yes. Boaz took Ruth and she became his wife. When he was intimate with her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. That is the end of my story. How interesting to know that two women started one journey. What's the name of the first woman? Abah. Just small things stops her from becoming Abah. Because she behaved like an Abah woman. Have you heard of the book of Abah? There is no book of Abah. There is book of Ruth. Nobody heard anything about Abah again for life. Not one person heard anything about her again. But Ruth. If you're a lady in this house, the same thing goes for the men. Make up your mind today to be an abased woman, a woman who is down to earth, a woman who is submissive. Let everything be shaken, but let the words of your pastor never fall to the ground. The instruction, he does not need to be there to see you. He does not need to be there to supervise you. He does not need to be there to checkmate you. And some of you who don't understand yet the importance or the blessing that comes with having a father over your life, I've just shown you a little of it. The power that resides in mentorship, the power that resides in spiritual covering. One of the best things that can happen to you is to carry what your pastor carries. There are things he has seen ahead of you, you have not seen. He would. There was a time she was every time there's this particular guy in the government house, one big guy like that in the government. Come and see me, come and see me. She would jump. There's nothing in her mind though. She just go. And how money she would just dress up. Package well. Where had and the man called is a married man. I called her. I said, what's going on between you and this guy? Why are you guys always, every time? The man keeps calling her, I want to see you. I'll keep engaging her. That was even the time I made her my secretary. Because she was always running to government house. So I said, come and do secretary. So she carried secretarial position. So the man will call Lucy, sorry, I'm with my pastor. Like, pastor, does it give you time to go out and see friends and all that? And she'll come and, Daddy, please, I've promised this man, he said I should come and see him, Daddy, I said, sit down there until I make your enemy your footstool. Sit. Government house. Then from nowhere, she's going for midweek service. She's in one car like that. The guy said, come. I'm your father. If I don't teach you, if I don't tell you, who will I tell? You will sabotage your future. This man don't marry. You can't take his wife. You can't take him. Even if you don't have anything to do with him. Yes, like you told me. There's nothing. Daddy, there's nothing. The man is so intelligent. Oh my God, Daddy. If this man sit with you and talk with you, oh my God. The man has done that. The man has done that. This man is intelligent. This man can gist. This man can talk. This man likes you. I even gave him your book. The man is in love with you, Daddy. I said, I don't care. If man is in love with me, he should leave you and come and be with me. I said, you may think I'm telling you because I want anything to do with you. Nothing. I don't have any business with you. You're not my wife. I don't have any. You're not going to be my wife. It's not my plan. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that there's somebody God will pray for you somewhere who is watching you. You jump out of that car. His conclusion will be that pastor is dating a married man, diseased. Thank God she had ear. She listened and she fiam. It's not just with men alone. It's not about the opposite sex alone. In every other area of your life, submit totally. In your academics, let your pastor have a say. In your relationships, both with your female and the opposite sex, let your pastor have a say. You want to travel, let the man have a say. Honor that man's word over your life. Honor him. Love him. Do you know your pastor's voice supersedes your biological father's voice? You don't know? You should know it today. Maybe you don't know. You should know it today. Because this one is your spiritual covering. I want to end it this way before we pray. I don't know what you expect to see the next year you come for your 31st ladies conference. You want to come the way you came this year? Sorry. You should go and make a projection that all the things you've been taught in this meeting, you're going to put them into practice. So next year when you're coming back as a full-fledged son with results to show. When a father truly loves you, he will discipline you for a wrong you do. And sometimes those things you want to do, you think are right, are the things that will end you very quickly. That independence. I know a lady in this church. I keep talking about her story. Every time she's telling me she has a problem. My family, my this, my academics. I tell her, my dear, your only problem, as a matter of fact, is submission. Without permission, she will just jump into the bus. Piam, she has gone to Abia State. Without permission, piam, she's nowhere. Without permission, piam, she's anywhere else. And the man doesn't know. After a while, I block the girl. I don't care again. Let me shock you. If you have an outer court relationship with me, it's children's bread you get here. Outer court, you know, in the temple, there are 3 layers. There's outer court, there's inner court, there's holies of holies. As a pastor, I preach to many, but I pastor a few. Don't be deceived by what you see when you come to church. You sit down there and he is our pastor. I preach, you enjoy the sermon and you go home. If there is no personal relationship with me, you can't go far. No matter the anointing I release in this house, there are things you cannot get from me by hearing me preach on this altar. Ask the ones who are working closely with me. You will learn the things you learn from being close alone. You cannot get it in 1 month of preaching here. Go and redefine your relationship with your pastor from this minute. That's what has kept a lot of people down. They haven't been able to rise. Look at Reverend Oix. How many of you know her? Trailblazer. She met Pastor David Oweli as a teenager, 15 years. 15 years of age. Served as the man's first secretary. Pastor raised her for years. She stayed with the man patiently. She's one of the most beautiful men I've seen. Some of you, your beauty is your problem. Your pastor will see potential strapped up in you. You are a leader. You are a leader. I see a global leader in you. It's not me. You run up and down because of your hairstyle. It's of you to get close, submit. That thing you see in me, sir, I don't see. Can you bring it out? That woman today is a globally traveled woman. She speaks in different government houses. She addresses presidents. She has authored book. Today she has a PhD. A lady who met a man as a 15 years old teenager. Today she has a PhD. She's married. She has 4 children. She has traveled to all over the world. She has spoken in the United Nations Assembly before. In different parts of the world. Traveled. A lady. What about the one they call Pastor Sharon? Met Pastor David 14 years. started following, started singing for the man. From singing for him, today she's the pastor of one of the largest churches in Abuja. One of the largest Dominion City churches in Abuja. She prayed for a man who was expecting a particular contract, and in few hours of that prayer, the contract, the money entered the man's account. The man ran back to this pastor lady. I said, your prayer worked, man. Give me your account number. I'm traveling to America. When I come back, I'll see you again. So the woman thought maybe it's just 100,000, 200,000, or 500,000 at most. The man wants to just use to appreciate her for the prayers. Once she saw on her alert 100 million. A girl. I wish I can take all of you on excursion to Lagos. You see your mates looking like you, tying scarf like you, putting cap like you, small girls. You will just stay at the gate and be seeing them driving in with their jeeps. You see them driving with their Lincoln, with their Prados. Small girls who submitted themselves to the hand of their pastor, and the man has turned their world upside down. Some of them, the men they are married to today, now pastor choose for them. Pastor looked at their life and said, come, this one you want to marry will kill you. See your husband here. Now pastor. And they're enjoying their marriage. They are happy. You won't hear of breakup. They are doing well. There's some of you here, you have boyfriends. You know it. You have not only man friends. Not even one, not two, not three. They are scattered. You have in Abuja. You have in Port Harcourt. You have in Lagos. You have in Ikwo. In Funai. You have them. Your pastor does not even know half of it. Half of one of the person. Not even one. Half. He doesn't know half of your relationship. Some of you, you already have your plans for marriage. There's a guy toasting you somewhere. Is that what they call it? Or a guy who is whining your head somewhere. Your P doesn't know. You are in church claiming member of Prissy Hills. In Nagokwa. You don't know if that's an Oborogo husband. Satan is arranging to kill you. But because if you, it's my personal life. I don't talk my personal life. I don't discuss my personal life. It's my personal thing. Duh. Useless generation of what I don't understand. If I didn't take my own, the lady I wanted to marry to Pastor David, today I would hear him. Only God knows what I would have been feeling by now. The last time I saw the lady in town, I looked at her and said, God, she's gradually becoming a grandmother. Is this what I would have married? My pastor wired me. See, you are a madman. If you don't send that girl out, I'll kill you. God, I said, over. Oh, thanks. Do you know, because of mentorship over my life, I saved him from the same thing. He brought a lady here to me one time, about 3 to 4 years older than you, right? The lady strode it all the way from Onisha. Onisha. Amen and amen. Onisha. Handsome, this man, oh. When he starts talking here, you're like, hi, see intelligence. A guy came for service here one Sunday. And he came to impress his mpa. He said, Daddy, I brought my fiancée to show you the lady I want to get married to. I need you to see her and counsel her. But I love his wisdom. He said, Daddy, anything you say about the relationship is what I would do. I don't know what to do, but I just feel it's okay, bring her. I sat down. Why I sat down? Already by then, my pastor had delivered me from my own. So I've been where he wants to be. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Can't you see the way it works? I sat. I did the same thing my pastor did. I just sat. I watched the girl. Just came out. Holy Ghost, give me utterance. First, I looked at my son, Pastor. I was like, how can this guy be mentally deranged? They say love is blind, but I say never see. Because that love that is blindfolding you is not blindfolding the second. They have eyes to so listen too sometimes. So when the lady came, good afternoon, sir. I'm like, yes. said, how are you, ma? Hope you enjoy service. Yes, sir, I did. Church girl, church girl. I said, hey. He said, this guy wants to kill me before my time. Hey, only to the ghost. So I was like, wow, what do you see in my son that makes you love him? He said, He's the Lord's doing, no? I asked a few questions and like, okay, no problem. Have you spoken to your pastor about it? He said, yes. He's even supposed to come and see him. He just said that I should come and, because he was going to see the pastor. The pastor of the girl called him, come and see me in Onisha. But being a wise guy, you know what he did? He said, no, I have a pastor. Let me inquire from my pastor first what to do. So he came to me and said, Pastor, should I go and see the pastor of the girl? I said, no, I want to see the girl first. So tell the girl to tell her pastor that I want to see her. That is how the girl was able to come over and I saw. If not, he would have gone there. Who knows what would have happened? They would have tied the thing quick. So when she came, I saw. I said, no, this is not what I'm looking for. I don't think my son deserves something like this. So I told him, this is not good for you. And I gave him the parameters, the measurement. I said, one, she's older than you. Do you know, even when I was talking to him, I said, see how foolish I was. I said, he's only 4 years old, and it was so weighty. Me, 7 years. Yeah. So I delivered him of that, cancelled him, put him through, and told him what he needed to do. And that was it. And he listened. That relationship, it went. He's happy now. Now I'm the one that will choose the wife he will marry. He's my son. He's one of my pastors. He's in a walk. If you are here having hope, sorry. All these guys, they are all my choices to make. So if you like any of them, remove your eyes. Just be faithful. Follow pastor. Don't follow them. I'll know the match. Why I see this guy. He's good. And once I tell you, accept it. You won't have problem, amen. Don't put your heart anywhere. Don't put your heart anywhere. Like your own is next year. Okay, man. Don't put your heart anywhere. Just zero it. And ladies, don't give yourself heartbreak. Put your heart there. And like, hey, God, Father, I invoke the spirit of this pastor. Nothing we invoke. I'm in charge here, amen. Before, wanted to marry one girl like that. Who he finally married, one Jay-Z to the bell. You see the girl, if you see her, you think she's a demon indeed. She's a demon. I called him, I said, have you not seen, like Samson's parents told him, he said, have you not seen sisters from amongst us? I said, let me give you statistics. See this person, think about her. See this other lady, think about her. At least 3 good statistics. I said, think about these 3. This lady you are in love with, it's not love, it's lost. You are infatuated. This lady is not spiritual. She doesn't. I say, pick a sister from somebody I have raised like I have raised you. The thing will blend. You guys will. The guy didn't take it, jumped out, went and did his wedding in one hotel somewhere with a girl. And he's inviting me. I said, me, go there. Wait. You are finished already. You are a gone man. One of my pastor's friends called me and said, that guy is going to die soon. So I should help him. I said, I'm not helping anything. Last time I checked, he's still wearing the shoe he borrowed from Emma Base. The shoe that he claimed he bought 30,000. He borrowed it and that guy almost left church. The last time I checked, he's selling chin-chin in town. The girl is using him to do puppets. Errand boy. He's teaching children taekwondo now. That's what he's doing. Taekwondo. Do chicken chan. That's what they're doing. Is it tortoise in the Agama lizard shadow? Come on. That's what they're doing now. He's selling chin-chin. So you see him in a patch market. Some of our members, you see him come and tell me I laugh. You see him, he's spraying tomato. Tomato, somebody who should be a noble son. What do you invest in? But because of one NTK, they hear. That's why you must be careful. As a pastor, a man, be careful. As a lady, be careful. One guy just comes, you won't know his deception is coming with to destroy your future. A lady just comes, you think this one means his deception she's coming with to destroy your future. It has happened to me. If it could happen to me, as anointed and tough as I am, what makes you think you escape it? Because now they see you are fair. Because you're now close to me. Your blackness is now changing to fair, small, small. You're now wearing tie and looking good. Or they have stopped. Or you do 90. And have stopped. Now you're carrying Bible for pastor. You're doing protocol. Here's not taking one first to see you just be looking at here. Then they see the way you run up with Bible, come and drop. As you're coming down, they're looking at you. Wow. You enter your hair small. You start using me to do yanga. And pastor's proto to the call. Anything that's so close to pastor is also like pastor. Let's organize our destiny. Are you hearing what I'm saying? If we build according to this pattern, only give us 7 years. This church will be everywhere in the world. Stop carrying talent and run up and down. Stop carrying beauty, intelligence. Organize yourselves. Let this church be a church of people under authority. A church of people under leadership. When we see you today, let's see you tomorrow. Let's see you the day after tomorrow. Let's keep seeing you. Don't be in today, out tomorrow. And nobody can hold you accountable. Rise on your feet. We're going to pray in a few minutes. You know, there's some people I've almost given up on. I just see them as church members. I just see them as brother in Christ, sister in Christ. I don't bug them. I don't bother them. I've given up on them already. They keep coming to church, but I don't have any personal interest in them. To see you, I will laugh with you, even shake hands with you, but I will not invest my life in you. Because it's like investing my life in something that does not understand what I'm doing. This may be the longest message you've heard, but it was worth it. Because we are making destinies here, not babies.
We believe you've been transformed by the wonders of God's Word. For additional information about us, you can visit our website at www.princetonhills.org. You can also send us a mail at info@princetonhills.org or call 0806 499 5029, 0812 511 3214. Princeton Hills Ministries, raising global leaders.